Hello there, crackbook crackers and tweeties and YouTubers. I just want to do a quick little video about crackbook stalking, social media stalking as a whole, and also the interest that ex-partners like to have with new partners to find out what the partner's like. Who is this new partner? What does this new partner look like? What sort of life does this new partner have? And I find this very sad. Facebook stalking goes on quite a lot, and there's a difference between private accounts that you connect to your family, friends, you share photographs with your family, friends, things like that, and then you have a public account. And obviously on a public account, then you share things that you want to go out in the public domain, and people have a choice to follow your account or they don't. And when people are looking for a business or a connection or something like that, yes, people open up people's accounts, they look at their profile, they look to see who they are, what they do, and they either dismiss it and try to find another account. That's not stalking. When somebody doesn't announce their presence, that they're watching your account, but they are openly, yeah, Deborah, I am okay, I'm cool, kids are in bed, I work through the night, but I'm just doing a little bit of video, and you'd have to watch it right back at the beginning to see what I'd just said, but I will go over it. And I want to talk about Facebook stalking, where people actually watch people's accounts, don't make themselves present or not, they don't comment, they don't like, they don't follow, they just stalk your account. And what they're looking for is something to cause you some form of grief or aggro in some way. It's called sabotaging, it's called projecting. But what I find very, very interesting is obviously people have exes, yeah? So when somebody gets into a relationship with somebody and there's an ex, and particularly when there's an ex where there's children involved, there is a curiosity. So what tends to happen is eventually they find out the name of this person through some form of way. Particularly what I do find interesting is when they're not in the life of this partner, but they are very, very, very curious about their lives. And even though they're no longer in a relationship with them, they will pop in, see what they do, what they say, blah, 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 blah. So when somebody like me gets into a relationship with Dean, there are three particular exes. Now, what I find very, very funny is I've had a feeling that I've been being face stalked for quite a while. People have been checking me out, want to know who I am, what I'm about, who's this woman, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I've had my mum face stalking as well. My mum checks in. She's not looking to support her daughter in any way. She's looking for something where she can try and pick a hole in or jump in on something that I say. Because obviously I talk about my private life. And the reason that I talk about my private life is because I talk about the way that the system deal with people who have been through child sexual abuse, how it's disclosed and the trauma and how this affects a person, how it breaks down family and how the system don't support. And then obviously then it's come into the fact that my children have been taken and the way that the system works. So one, I was actually bringing a book out in 2007. There was a lot of controversy with my own family because my mum went to visit all of the family to talk about me not talking about the family, not wanting things to come out, worrying about particular stories that might come out. And what goes on inside the house stays in the house. Do you know what I mean? Now, social media has created something a little bit different. Some people have their social media accounts locked down where you can just see their profile and their timeline and that's it. Unless you're friends with them, you can't see stuff. You don't know what's going on. Now, obviously, it's a bit different with me because you can Google me, there's stuff about me. Now, if, say, one said's partner was involved with his children, then one say exes would want to meet that one say mother, wouldn't they, that parent, because they would want to know who was going to be around their children. That I understand. I have been through this before. I have exes, they have new partners, they have been around my children, we have met and been invited along to children's birthday parties, or I've gone round and I've met them at a particular time, or they've been brought round to mine and I've met with them, and it's been agreed that yes, okay, cool, fantastic, brilliant. You know, both of them went on to marry, so Obviously, they become step parents to my children, and I have a right to know who is around my children. That's different, because what you do is you come to the door, you say, hello, Kelly, my name is X, Y, or Z, or per se, I don't have any beef with any of these exes at all. One of the mothers chooses to have a child as a public life. She is public property. Any single person who watches CBB supports her as a model or anything like that. So anyway, I've had an opportunity to face stalk today because a name came up and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I have a feeling that that is a relative of one of these exes. Therefore, I go through all of these accounts. I managed to see all of the things. I can see why Dean had such a problem in this family. Why would they support somebody from foster care? He would just be a street rat to somebody like them. Oh, keep that man away from my sister, daughter, whatever, wouldn't it? That man didn't have a chance in that family. But anyway, they look like a very decent family. You know, I've managed to go through all of their likes, all of their things, check everything, find every connection and family member. I've been able to get a better picture of what goes on, but I find it very sad, hence why I'm publicly saying I've done it, because why would somebody actually take the time out to keep checking somebody out that they've never met, they have never formally introduced themselves to, they have never sat down and had a meal together? And actually what you should do, because I've done this before, I've actually crossed paths afterwards and I've gone, hello, blah, 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 I'm so-and-so, so-and-so, I've just had a look at your profile, blah, 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 blah. So my exes don't do this to my partner or ex-partner or whatever we are. That's because they're men and they have more sense. However, women are very curious, aren't they? Very curious. What does the new girlfriend look like? Is she okay? Let's find something wrong with the new girlfriend. Yes? Let's find something wrong with the new girlfriend. So there isn't anything wrong with me. I've had, you know, I come from a very similar story of Dean's. I understand what's gone on. I understand the stories and journey of Dean. And I'm not here to alienate him from his children in any way, shape or form. Dean has never abused his children and would never abuse his children. We have our differences. We have our challenges. We struggle with things. But I'll tell you one thing about that man. If I raise my voice, if I argue, he tells me constantly, the kids are in the room, right? If we go to argue, he leaves. That's why he leaves, yeah? So at the end of the day, we've been having problems and we haven't been able to work out where all this gossip is coming from. So I have never, ever, 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 ever posted anything to do with Dean's children because they've come in on me and I've ended up doing something. So they've ended up posting to Dean's social media and I've ended up responding to it. Now, we all know about parent alienation. We all in this network understand how men are being alienated from their families. I'm not saying that there aren't men that give women an upside the head. I'm not saying it's right. I don't agree with it. But I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of bloody slappers out there, right, that get involved with men, fuck about, they have affairs, and men get hurt too. Yeah, just as there's women that do this. But when a relationship breaks down, it breaks down because it goes wrong. And predominantly the children stay with the mother predominantly. A lot of fathers have to fight for contact. It costs them a fortune through the courts. And one thing that women like to say is, come to my house, I'm going to ring the police. And that's even if they've taken the family home as well. Because don't forget, the women tend to get the home. The women tend to get the content of the house. Women get the children. Women get the maintenance. Women get the alimony. I'm talking about men that are coming from a provider protector. I'm not talking about men in the benefit system. I'm talking about men who go to work. So men who go to work, who provide the home, their own home, mortgaged homes, or bought outright homes, men who provide the cars, men who pay for the boots, you know, men who pick women up out of you know, hostels and do the best by them, as one of these mothers that likes to stalk me seems to forget. And you know, and predominantly these women then end up screwing the men over. They can't get legal aid because they don't work. The men has always provided. They need legal aid. The only way to get legal aid is to say that the men hit them. And then this goes into court. And then the man is standing there and he can't afford a finding of facts to defend himself. And then you've got all of the family over it, because actually she's probably actually cheated on the man, and he actually has probably walked past her or barged past her, and they've all pointed fingers at the man. Do you know what I mean? And how many dads, brothers and sisters ever really support any relationship? And certainly not one that would come from an environment per se that me or Dean have come from. And I find this very, very interesting. So if you don't have the balls and you want to search me, this is me, by the way. Yes, Kelly, hello. Hello to all of the people who've ever had Dean's dick stuck in them and seem to think that they have a right to me. Yes, no, you don't. Yes, I don't care how long your relationship was. I don't care whether you were a one-night stand with him. I don't care whether you had a 2-week fling. I don't care whether you have children with him. I don't care who you are. If you are a decent, respectful person and you want to know anything about me, then you would have the balls to either knock on my door, because obviously I have children that are brothers and sisters to your children, or you would actually connect with me on social media. And if actually you were ever concerned about me because Dean's such a bad man, oh, he's such a bad man, oh God, he's such a bad man, oh, he rapes children, he beats them, he beats up old grannies, he deals drugs, he, you know, yeah, I'm being sarcastic for anybody who wants to actually edit this, by the way. I'm not actually saying that about him. Yeah, he really does these things, doesn't he? You know, fuck's sake. The only thing Dean has ever been to prison for has been petty theft as a fucking child and defending himself in a fucking squat because he ended up getting somebody trying to stab him, for fuck's sake. You know, so yeah, I have managed to have a look at every single brother. I understand now why Dean gets a little bit funny about my family, thinking that maybe my family are trying to, you know, keep him away and stuff like that. And actually my mum had exactly the same attitude that I could imagine this family having as well, you know, street rat. Hence why we call it Street Rats. Do you know what I mean? Hence why the Facebook page is called Street Rats. And one of the other reasons that I'm here is obviously I'm here for all of the children that are in foster care that have been damaged by this system, that when they come out at 18, you know, they need coaches like us. They need people who can help them direct and if they can't reunite with their family, help them accept that they, you know, they don't have a family, and to be part of a network that do support them. That's what Foster Alumni was about. It's just that obviously I went through trauma myself and I can't run everything myself from the position that I'm in. You know, I've been having a look through these women's profiles. They are the typical women that I would never be. I'm not interested in standing in clubs and, you know, being one of these things. And if I ever saw my kids standing and being all, oh, with bum cheeks and, oh, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm not one of them. Oh, selfie girls. Oh, selfie girls. Yeah, I'm not one of them. And I'm not here to judge those sort of women either, but you have no right to sit and stalk me and check up on me. And I put a post out deliberately to see who was watching and whether or not people would come in. And what was quite interesting about this post is I had 2 of his exes' sides of families come in, not just 1, but 2. Okay, so yeah, the trap went out. It's proved that these people are sitting and watching my account. Sad, 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 sad. Now, if you had such concerns about this so-called bad man, then I would actually have, talking in a patronizing voice, I would actually have a lot of respect for you if you actually took the time to message me and say, I understand that you are in a relationship with Dean, and I've been in a relationship with him, and this was my experience, and I felt that maybe, you know, you needed to know because, you know, I know you've got this battle going on with your kids. and it would be important. And, you know, I know you're going to bring children in the world, and I thought you should know that. That I would have respect for. And I would have respect for that. Okay. Now, if you want to contact me and say, oh, is this, is that, is this, is that? Well, I wouldn't have respect for you. If you had genuine cause for concern for me, then you wouldn't leave me in this situation now, would you? Now, I can tell you 100%, I have been to visit one of these exes. I have asked her outright about matters that have gone on. I have listened to a little girl tell me straight that my dad's a taker. Yes, I used to love my dad. Every time my mum and dad used to argue, I always took sides with my dad. I always went off with my dad. But then I come to understand, and I won't say the rest of this conversation because it's not about bringing a little girl down. It's about showing and evidently that mums do poison children to hate their fathers. Why do they do this? It's because they're scared that when the dad knocks on the door and picks the kids up and takes their bags, then they're not going to bring them back. That's why they do this. And it's very sad. I understand this. I have this fear myself. I've never had that fear with Graham, ever. And that's why it made it such an amicable relationship. I knew that the children were staying with me. He worked and he would be seeing them at them times. No time did he ever threaten to take the children from me, and no time did I ever threaten to take the children from him, apart from one of my boyfriends at the time caused some shit at one particular point. But no time has it ever occurred at that sort of level. And that's why it was amicable. With my first child, the father was actually the one who came to the door and brought all of his stuff and said, you know, this was end of that. That was caused by his new partner, and he chose his new partner, and that's sad. Time moves on. He now sees his son 13 years later. I was the one that kept pushing that. I was the one that made contact every year and said, he's asking for you. I was the one that said, when are you actually just going to say to me yes, when and where, rather than I've got a wedding or I'm working? Eventually it happened. Stephen is a bit different. I never ever stopped him seeing the children. What I said was he couldn't have alcohol or drugs or take the children into those situations. That was all I said. That he could see them at Buddies, and he wasn't going to a contact centre either. He could see them at Buddies, he could take them to say football, he could do the things, but he had to have an open, transparent relationship with me if he couldn't cope, and I would pick kids up and I'd drop them back off later. He didn't want that. I know that his also new partners also Facebook stalk me. That's very sad. Again, if you would like to know anything about my relationship with any of my previous partners, if there's anything that you are curious about, or what tends to happen is how many new partners could handle a man saying, and actually Dean's never, ever, ever disrespected his baby mamas. Never, never, ever, ever. Sometimes he gets upset. Sometimes he gets really hurt, especially when he has to find out that his daughter is either not well or has been in hospital, and he finds out through the grapevines. He should be the first person contacted. With every relationship that breaks down, there should always be communication for the sake of the kids, even if you have to have a mediator to do that, even if you have to have a third party who bases for the child, for both of the parents, and keeps that consistency going. It's not easy, it's not, but at the end of the day, you know, sorry, I was just reading a comment, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the guts to come and speak to me and ask me questions, and that goes the same to everybody who does it, because everybody does it. I do it on FEA, or people that connect to me straight away, the first thing that I do is I go on, I check their profiles, and I will either accept them, say hello, thanks for the request, or I will deny them. But I'm not going to sit in there going back and back and back. If it's somebody that I follow, then I follow. And so it shows that their posts come up in my feeds, I see them, and I get to either share these posts or learn from these posts. Sometimes I will like the posts, sometimes I will comment on the posts. But I have chosen to follow that person. Sometimes feeds come up, you have a look, you're interested or you're not interested. You choose to follow them or you don't. But when you are actively seeking, because you are an ex of somebody's, or you are a family member of somebody who's a new partner or something like that, it's stalking and it's illegal. And when you do have a daughter who is a public property, as you have made her to be, anybody can post. I'm free to post any of her videos. I'm free to post absolutely anything that I like. I have not done this and been respectful, even though I'm more in that industry than they are. Yeah, my best friend Kay, you know, she's been in CBBS, she's been in that world, she's one of the producers for it. She chooses and selects. My children were on the sets of the filming sets of Tracy Beaker and Bernard's Watch way before this little girl was in that world. Way before. I have raised a 23-year-old, I have raised a 19-year-old, okay? And many of my friends were actors, many of my friends were musicians, many of my friends were artists. I've been respectful for 4.5 years. For 4.5 years, I have had constant shit through Dean's network that has affected my network, be it people from the artistic world, because it's a gang warfare fucking, is like watching the boxing before a match goes on between artists, you know what I mean? Especially when they're rappers, it's a battle of the bands, for God's sake. You know, if you look at, what was it, Mathers, Eminem, yeah, look at his song, Mockingbird, yeah. Daddy don't leave, daddy don't go. Look what Kim has done to the child. What? Because daddy's going out to work, and actually he's not a 9-to-5 person, but he's an artist. Why couldn't Kim say, wow, look, daddy's going, daddy's going to be number one. Come on, let's be daddy's number one supporter. One of Dean's exes has told me very, very, very clearly that she sabotaged his work, that she deliberately did not put those albums over, that she deliberately did not put the stuff over his CDs that he was banging out on a daily basis and getting it out. And she worked within that industry with one of the biggest producers working for Sony. And she did not give her own partner of 9 years that opportunity. I have networks in the BBC. I have networks in Radio 1. I have networks who radio DJs. I have networks with Rock FM. I have networks with Kiss FM. I have networks with you know, what's that, MTV thing. You know, I have networks in these worlds that if Dean can get back the confidence that he once had and really go for it, that I could do this for him. I'm a great networker. If I want to speak to somebody, I can speak to them. I've seen the damage that's been done to this man. I've seen it with my own physical eyes. I have seen other women do this to dads. Do you know why people like me have trauma? Because I'm a daddy's girl and I miss my dad. My mum went on national telly making out that my father started hitting her. It wasn't, it was the other way around. It was my mum who laid on the floor going, oh, he hit me. And he never touched her. Never touched her. Never touched her. I have actually witnessed my dad being goaded by my ex-stepmom. Go on, fucking hit me. Go on, fucking hit me. I walked in on it. And my dad literally just punched the wall to the side of her. And she was deliberately trying to get him to do it. And I've seen many, many, many women do this, particularly women who have come out of a relationship where they've got a like that inside their head, and they'll go up and they'll go to men. I know, I've been there myself. You know, Dean has had it from me. I do it to Dean. And you know what? Dean's never punched me. We've had shindigs, we've had doodahs, we've gone face to face with each other, because we're both dealing with trauma, we're both dealing with healing, and we've both come from fucking MI5 whistleblower places and being on fucking Downing Street. Dean's had 30 years of it, 30 years of breaking buildings, 30 years of being out on reclaimed streets, you know. So we don't have to justify ourselves to anybody. I don't have to justify myself to anybody. This page was for me being a coach. I never, ever, ever expected to ever post out social services. I've got my kids. They've got my kids. What do I do? I never expected to do that. I never expected to have this whole network of families that have been in trauma all over me, thrown all over me. And I give my time to free. What I could have done was stayed as a coach and said, this is my personal story. I have fuck all to do with any of you parents. This is my story, my thing. And if you would like to be coached, then here is my fee. That's what I could have done, and I haven't. And I give my story, I give my truth, because I know it helps people. I know that there are people out there in dark places that sometimes I can just say something that they can relate to that will help pull them out. So I'm happy to talk about that situation. It took for me to talk publicly about being sexually abused in order for more people to be sexually abused to come out. I was the person in July 2013 that was outside back Downing Street. It was me, yeah? And at the end of the day, I didn't talk about a VIP. I just said that there is an infiltration of paedophilia in the multi-agency networks, and children in foster care are vulnerable and they are being abused, whether it's that they are being abused to outside people or whether they are being abused and trafficked individually. And yes, it is going on. Yes, I'm sorry, but is there such thing as a VIP paedophiles? You're a paedophile and a fucking nonce, or you're not. There is no VIP, yes? Just because you're a police officer, it doesn't make you a fucking VIP. Sorry, what, you want to fuck a child? Just because you are a... and actually, one of the brothers is going to probably quite like this video. I know a lot about who he used to work for and what he used to do. So it's a bit your field, this, isn't it? So at the end of the day, hello there, Holly. Having a bit of a rant, darling. I'm just about to finish up because this is just a half-an-hour video. That's it. So at the end of the day, there is no VIP paedophile. It doesn't matter whether you are Prince Andrew. It doesn't matter whether you are a MP. It doesn't matter whether you are Jimmy Savile. It doesn't matter whether you are from the Pie Exchange. The population basically states that 5% of our 100% population is paedophiles. 5%. So you're telling me that out of 5% paedophiles who are potentially fucking 1 to 10 to 20 to 50 fucking children in their lifetime, you're telling me that the Child Sexual Abuse Inquiry had no arrests? 0 arrests. Nada. Sorry. Is a teacher not a VIP? Is it okay for the binman to fuck or rape a child and throw the baby in the back of the bin? Is it okay then for, you know, say, doctors to give unnecessary breast examinations and an up the finger while they're dealing with their children? Is that okay? Is it okay for people in mental health units to get fucked by the interns? Is that okay, is it? Because it happens. While people have got injections in their legs. It happens. People go in and stick their hands up their gowns while they're nonced out. Do you know what I mean? Did you know that people in comas get raped? Did you even know that they actually even take dead bodies out of fucking morgue to rape them? That's how sick some people in this society are. And people have a problem with the fact that I'm willing to out this. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not. I'm going to have my tired days. I'm going to have my down days. I'm going to have my days where people stalk me and gossip and talk shit and put energy on me that's not even fucking true. I'm a good, decent person. And believe it or not, so's Dean. He's produced 2 of those most beautiful boys. And you know, one thing that I see as I face stalked pretty much the entire family, because one account took me to another that took me to another, and surnames match up and married couples match up, and I was able to see the brothers and the uncles and the aunts and the cousins and link up because they'd like to post. Always go for the big family ones, the baby launch one. You'll find about 50 or 60 people that have liked it. Check every single one of them. You'll find a common denominator between them. That's face stalking. That's what I've done tonight. I put up a post of India deliberately. I did it deliberately because, one, we all know that children have a right to their siblings. These people are not just alienating their father, they are alienating other brothers and sisters too. And all of them brothers and sisters, even though there are different baby mamas and they are brothers and sisters from another mother and another father, but just because they are, no parent has the right to separate and alienate them. I do not have a right to tell my boys in there that they are not allowed to see their father or my other children. And no stepmother has the right, or stepfather has the right to tell their partner that they can't have anything to do with their other previous children because they believe that they should just have them to themselves. I know full well that one of the children that was not Dean's children was abused, was modelling, wasn't protected. So why would I not question whether this particular daughter may not be protected? And my daughter will be in that industry, by the way, especially if she comes back to me, because that's what she likes to do. That's what she's involved in. I've been in that world for fucking years, absolute years. What do you think coaches do? Coaches support people to be what they want to be. You've got one of my friends, she's an actress at the moment, I've been sharing her stuff out. She came to my committal to prison. She's doing amazing. In fact, not long after my committal to prison, she went off talking about mental health all over the papers. You know, Kay Parcell was one of my really close friends. Google who Kay Parcell is. She was in Emmerdale EastEnders, Coronation Street. Why would I not be on the sets of these things, having chats and conversations in the green room with people? Why would I not have networks like that? I can prove it. I have photo albums with my children at these events. I have my children at Bernard's Watch. I have my children at things. So I've actually put my life on hold to be respectful to these baby mamas. Yeah. India Jazz is a child that I would work with and I would keep protected in that industry. So I've had enough. I've taken 4.5 years of people in Dean's network wanting to stalk me. I have had enough of people that want to be with the DJ and would love to suck his cock. Oh, they would love to suck his cock because, oh, they're the women that just want to throw knickers at the DJ. Oh, DJ, please spin that wheel. Oh, DJ, can I leave my drink on your counter? Will you watch my handbag for me? I have seen it. I've worked in the clubs, for fuck's sake. I have seen every DJ door bunny, every door bunny. I've seen it. I know every fucking move that these door bunnies make. Do you know what I mean? I'm the one that used to book the DJ in. I'm the one that used to look after the real thing. I'm the one that used to look after there's photographs that prove it. What's his name, from the Drifters, Ray from the Drifters. You know, I used to look after them when I used to turn up at the clubs and do these nights and things. I used to be the one that used to stand around, you know, between the two, between them being on stage and the women. Oh my goodness, people, grow up. Seriously, I used to take the piss with my friend Kay, because I went in once and she was ironing and she had on a big baggy trousers and a baggy top and stuff, and she'd just turned OK Magazine down, and I walked in and she had a fag in one hand and our Barbadian rum in another hand. And she'd just finished eating one of these curry things that we had, and it was all down the front of her while she was eyeing it. And I took a photograph and went, "Go on, Kay, what do you reckon? OK Magazine would pay me for this." And she's chasing me around the house with a slipper. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So Facebook stalkers, yes. Please be polite. And if you would like to know anything about me, you're more than welcome to introduce yourself to me. If you're here to hinder, then it's going to be a bit of an issue. If you're here to help, fantastic. If you can't help, but you just, you know, enjoy the journey or find it quite interesting or think, oh, okay, is she mad? Is she crazy? Or whatever. If you're here to point fingers at me, then please remember your point 3 back at yourself. I'm not here to judge you, so you have no right to be here to judge me. I choose to tell my story. It doesn't mean that you have any ownership over me whatsoever. I don't owe you fuck all. I don't owe you my time. I don't owe you my resources. I owe you nothing. In fact, every single one of you, if you actually wanted to be here, you would actually need to be paying me over £250 an hour. In fact, it's about £5,000 for an initial fucking conversation with somebody like me. If we put free, it's breadcrumbing. It means you're going to get dropped with fucking £5,000 at the next bit. Do you know what I mean? So when people want to have a complaint because somebody makes a donation, because somebody might help me out with some petrol to get to something, or somebody might help me out with the fact that my children are being denied things because I work for you people for free. What a joke. There are doctors out there jumping out of planes, running marathons, climbing mountains, traveling the world to raise millions and millions of pounds so someone can sit on the polarity of what I do. So rather than reuniting families, they're the ones breaking them up. And people get off their fucking asses on a daily basis and make sure millions and millions of pounds, because they're not government funded, believe it or not. They might be government owned, some of them. Hello. Oh, hello. Sunrise time. Come in, my beautiful boy. I've got that. Oh, I'm just talking about your brothers and sisters, darling. That's okay. Oh, I'm such a Anyway, guys, I'm going to sign off and settle myself. But this little boy, he has a right to know his brothers and sisters. And that's all of them. That's all of them. That's Liam, Daniel, Aaron, Faith. But that's also his other 4 brothers and sisters from his father's side as well. And they have a right to know them. And if there is any animosity between them not liking each other, it's because of poison from somebody else. Why would any of their brothers and sisters not like them? What? Because of jealousy? Because I'm not their mum? Because they have a different mum? Do you know what? If you were a stepdaughter of mine, you'd have an amazing relationship with me. And not only that, it actually means that all of the mothers that have got children, particularly the younger ones, you got free childcare with me. The kids can come here whenever you like. You want to take your daughter off modelling? Your son's more than welcome here to go on skateboarding with your pro skater brother. Do you know what I mean? So I have an issue with any mother or father of any child that wants to divide the family unit. You might not like or love your partner anymore, but your child does. And I looked into your son's eyes and your daughter's eyes, and I see the photographs which I posted up. Those eyes are dead. And if you as a mother cannot see that, you are not protecting your daughter. Your daughter's eyes and soul is dead. Yes, I have seen happy pictures of her, but you allow for your daughter to continue modelling in morbid, dark photographs. And they are morbid and dark. And she is very sad. Now, when you see my boys modelling My boys will be having fun on their skateboards. They'll be having fun. They'll be being children. They will be being children. They will be being young children enjoying life. No growing them up. No aging them. No turning them into something that they're not. They will be enjoying their lives as children appropriate to their age. The photographs will be fun. In fact, probably everything you see with my kids, they look happy. Their boys are happy. Yes, they miss their dad sometimes, but he's not a 9-to-5er, and he never will be. So you baby mamas can't ever turn him into a 9-to-5 person. You seem to have ex-armies in your family. Yeah. You weren't bothered when these people were married to soldiers that went on tour, killing people. Dean's not going out there killing people. So who's the person with the better integrity? So go. You don't protect the Queen anymore. You're just a civilian. You don't cause me any aggro. You don't cause me any grief. And if you want to come onto this account, and this goes to my mother as well. If you want to be in my life, and this goes to my stepmom too. My stepmom watches me and stalks my account too. Accidentally hit like on the button. I contacted her, said, oh, thank you. It was lovely. I actually thought that she had intentionally liked it and was showing her support. She did it by accident. She was just wanting to check up on me to let my dad know. As I told her, if my dad wants to know anything about me, this is my address. That is my front door. I know when my dad's been. He puts something across the front of the door. Yeah, he's always done that. Too many women standing in between men and their children. Too many women, be it the person they had the child with, or be it their new relationships. And do you know why this country is FUCK'd? This country is because people are breaking these men down. Women think that they are above men. They want to knock men down. Well, it's time we raised men up. And I'm not surprised that some of you got a bit of a fucking bitch slap when you're giving blowjobs down the back of the clubs, yeah, and your fella catches you doing it. Yeah, I'm not surprised the argument ended up in a bit of a bitch slap. Not surprised. I've seen too many women do this. I have been in the clubs when I've seen married women going down the back of the alley with, funny enough, the DJ or the bouncer or the star of the show. It goes on. It takes a lot to trust a DJ in that world. They've got women cavorting themselves over them all day. Hence why a boundary has been set with Dean about his fans, because that's what they are. Fans. Cattle market fans. Yeah, sad. Enjoy the music, enjoy the show. But, oh, hey, DJ, can I please leave my bag with you? Because I'm a raging fucking whore and I want to get my hands down your dick. Oh, my son's here. And yeah, I don't care whether you're married, got children. Grow up. Seriously, grow up. So anyway, to those people who are here just to face stalk me, hello. Have a like, share, follow, make a post. Actually, even have the balls to troll me and say that you don't even fucking like me. Because do you know what you do? You make me stronger, because my heart is pure. My mind has a bit of a battle, but I knew that there were people watching my account, going off, chatting shit to family members. I know full well that these mothers have been going chatting shit to Dean's mum, causing shit with Dean's mum with me. I know full well they've been chatting shit to Dean's other side of the family, causing shit with me. I know full well that they've been chatting shit with Dean's friends to make sure that I don't fit in around the table where they used to put their legs. Sad, 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 sad. How sad are you? Now, wouldn't it be really nice to see some of you women at Crisis this year? You can come and bake some turkeys for us. You can come and spend some time with some alcoholics and drug dependents and drug alcohols, cutting their nails and cutting their hair and bathing them and helping them get some clothes and helping them get some food into them and making sure that they have a really nice Christmas. But don't worry, it's all right to break your nail. See you later, stalkers. Bye. See you on the other side. And don't forget, all my posts get added into my book. Hey, if you don't want to be in the book, mate, don't have things for me to say about you.